Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes. We're with Liberty Labs, who has 4.5 million XP, a little over that, about a million to go to get to level 38. We're actually level 37, and I waited to train up. I did the the story arc, the flashback story arc that we were on, which was Devouring Earth, and we've now got 174 reward merits. So we're moving along there. We got almost a third of what we need. And now we're going to train up to a new power level, which is level 37. I figured you guys would want to see that. So we're going to put our final slot on high pain tolerance. And now we're going to add 2 slots to total focus, right? And then we're going to be working on getting our enhancements done. So let's take a look at what recipes we have. We have endurance modification, which we can now do. We have endurance reduction. We're going to need a couple of those. So let's go to the base. I do want to go to Ginger Yates here and start quests, but let's go to the base and see what we can make. And then we'll buy SOs for whatever we can't make and upgrade the existing SOs. So I still haven't done any work on the base. I was listening to some interesting YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff while I was doing my flashback, but so let's see what we got here. So endurance reduction needs stabilized mutant genome. Is that white or yellow? I don't remember. So we'll just have to look. There's stabilized mutant genome. Let's take a couple of those. Go back over here and click. And now we have endurance modification. And so we'll go ahead and create that. And so we can replace that with this one. So excellent. So we'll only need to upgrade this one in here and then these 3 there. And then what else do we have? We have some accuracy. Excellent. So we'll create that. So these are 35, but it's fine because they are invention trainers, so they will never expire. So anything above 30 is good. Do we need damages? We do. We need 1 damage. So let's go ahead and do that. And so then we can pop that on there. Right, so now that's fine. We're still going to need some accuracy in here and in here. But it's coming along, and let's see. We need endurance reductions, correct? And we're going to need, let's see, 1 here and 2 there. So we need at least 3. Well, we have a bunch. So let's do the level 40. Right? Did it not? There we go. And then we're going to need what for this one? Stabilized mutant genome. Yeah, we'll go get some more. Because we need to make 2. 1, 2. So we come down here, endurance reduction. 1, 2. And so now we can rip this one out and this one out and replace, let's see, we'll put the 40 in here and the 35s in here. So the 40 is a 38% reduction. This one's 36. So it's doing quite nicely. So, and then we want an accuracy in there, but we don't have an accuracy on this here. So in here. What else do we need? We need resistance, right? 4 resist damages. Obviously, we don't have any heals. We don't need fly. We don't need recharge on hasten. So that's looking pretty good. So let's see. We don't have resistance. We have defense buff, but not resistance. We don't need that. So that's not bad, guys. We're only going to need to buy a couple of SOs, and then we'll just auto upgrade the others. So I think, yeah, that's not too bad. If we look at our enhancements here, we have the overwhelming majority are now inventions, right? We really just have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in our main powers, and then 6 over here. That's really not that bad at all. So let's go to Founders Falls, which is where we need to go anyway, and we'll go to the natural store. I don't know if we need to do that, right? Don't some of the other guys sell it, but we'll do it the right way. We'll go to the natural store, which is, where is that? I can never remember. Where is the natural store in here? Alright guys, hang on. Let me pause while I search for it, and I'll bring you back. Okay, found it. It's over here. I was looking on the wrong side of the map. We got it, though. I, like, zoomed way in, and I was looking... for whatever reason, I thought it was on the west side, not the east side. I knew it was in among the water somewhere, but I forgot where. We're 37th level now. Nothing in this zone should be able to do anything to us. It's maximum +2 to us, so like snipers and stuff won't be able to really hurt us in any real way. So now we'll come up here, and let's count what we need. Are 3 heals. The others are going to be auto-upgraded. Let's do the auto-upgrade first. It's going to cost us only 740,000 influence now. Right, 18 enhancements are going to be upgraded to level 40. Let's go ahead. Alright, so they're all green. So now we need 3 heals and 1 accuracy. Right, and that will help this one just enough, because 1.2 it'll go up to about 1.5, and then we won't need any more accuracy on it. So, what did I say? 3 heals and accuracy, and that's it. And we get a jump too for hurdle. So let's visit the store. And we're going to grab 3 heals, 1 accuracy, and then a jump. Not that we really need the jump, but we have plenty of influence. There's the jump, and then our 3 heals. So let's look at what this 6-slotted high pain tolerance does now. Okay, it now gives us 250 instead of 127 hit points, right? And we are at 8% resistance, which is what we have been, right? So we have 250 bonus hit points. If we look at our hit point bar, right, we have 1,671 hit points. Without that, we would have, take 127 off, we'd have like 1,550. Oh, that's not bad, right? We got some extra. It's 1 or 2 extra blows we can suffer, which is not too bad at all. All right, now we're going to contact who are we done? Ginger Yates, and we are going to wander over and do her missions. I don't remember who she sends us against. I'll try to get our next story arc. So I hope you guys have been enjoying yourselves. I've taken a couple days off. City of Heroes. I've been playing some AO Tennis 2. I won an actual tournament finally with my character on semi-pro. So I'm getting close to being back to the way I was. So we could help the security chief in Founders Falls. Yeah. You got to do these. It will keep offering them and refuse to give you story arcs until you do it. That's just the way. I mean, I don't know if they've changed it in Homecoming, but that's the way it was for years in live. And it's one of these things where I really wish they would have put in an option to stop helping the security chiefs. I don't need Founders Falls tutorials. And even if I needed them, I certainly wouldn't need them at level 37. Right? And the security chiefs are basically giving you a tutorial of the zone. They're making you learn the zone. Well, I'm level 37. If I don't know Founders Falls by now, something is wrong. Anyway, there's some really interesting stuff going on in gaming news. So let's talk about one that hopefully won't be politically controversial. There's a massively politically controversial one going on that I'm not going to talk about. Somebody asked me, oh, by the way, we're going to autocomplete this. Somebody asked me in the comments if I'm talking about with the political stuff that I don't want to get into, am I talking about something having to do with NCSoft? No. NCSoft and their behavior, no, we don't want Jenny. NCSoft and their behavior and how they treated Paragon Studios and how they treated the players of City of Heroes, any discussion of that is fair game. I don't really have a lot to say about NCSoft, but that's totally fair game. Cryptic's behavior, Statesman's behavior, controversies about defense nerfs, any of that stuff is totally fair game. That's not political. That's game, right? That's not what I mean. there's an actual political thing about real world politics going on within the world of gaming, right? A bleed over of real world politics into video games that I absolutely do not want to touch, and I will not talk about it, right? It's going on. If you're paying any attention at all, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And and we got the Terra conspiracies. This is more Devouring Earth. Oh, yes, guys, we need to move. We're going to bump our notoriety up to +2. So hopefully this will give us a +2 when we go into that mission, and we'll just see how we do. It's going to be a pain in the neck with Devouring Earth. One thing I will say about the DE, we have benefited greatly from Hasten. Or I have. We haven't because you guys weren't watching it. But I benefited greatly from Hasten because, they keep bringing up the swarms, and as soon as I see a swarm come out, I just pop Hasten. And you still have to defeat the swarms, but at least it doesn't dramatically slow you. The Hasten basically counteracts it, at least mostly. Anyway, back to my discussion about politics. I don't want to talk about anything having to do with real world politics, and it's unfortunately the case that there is some really bananas stuff going on in the world of gaming. I definitely have opinions about it, and I could rant about it, except I don't want to because I don't want this channel to become toxic. Instead, what I want to do is talk about an actual gaming thing that's happening in the world of gaming that's actually kind of surprised me. And maybe I shouldn't be surprised. And I'm not sure it's deserved what's happening. And maybe it'll calm down when more people post reviews. A new game has just come out on Steam. I've been watching for a while. It's a game I've been planning to buy. It's out today, the 26th of March. I have it on my wish list, and I was getting ready to buy it. And I probably will buy it, despite the fact that it has mostly negative reviews. Normally, I look very carefully at the reviews to see whether they're positive or negative. And if a game has mostly negative reviews, I will back off. So I'll tell you what the game is, and we'll talk about the story and why I think that some of this is maybe a little unfair. But you can be the judge yourself. Depends on I guess it depends on what you want out of a video game. So I watch certain content creators. One of them is Quill18, who does a lot of what do you want to call it, like games of strategy on his channel. He either plays by himself, or there's some +3s. He either plays by himself or he plays with the chat going and stuff like that. And he plays games like Stellaris. In fact, he's the reason my best friend and I started playing Stellaris, because we watched his Let's Play and it looked cool. And he explained how it worked and stuff. And I remember telling my friend, here's a Let's Play. I had seen Quill do other things. I said, here's a Let's Play. We can check it out. If we weren't sure if we wanted Stellaris. And so I texted him the so this is going to be the problem with +3s, a constant missing. I texted him with the YouTube link, and then I started watching it, and he started watching it. It was really funny because I think we're gonna go back down to +1, guys. I can't. Right? Did you see those hits, those misses? Like, even with accuracy running +7%, we're still we have, a 69% chance. I mean, we really shouldn't have been whiffing that much. Anyway, he was like, at one point I said something about, oh, you can do this, this, and this, and he wrote back, I'm watching it. He was like 5 minutes behind me. He said, yeah, I know, I'm watching it right now. And he said, oh, let's get away from the Karen. He said, I'm eating dinner while I watch it. And so basically we both got done watching his first video, I think. And by the time we were done with it, we were like, yeah, we're gonna get this game and play it together. It looks really cool. So anyway, I don't know how he popped up in my feed, because I haven't actually watched anything of Quill's in years. And he popped up in my feed playing the demo version of a game that's a Civilization style game. They call him a 4X game. And it's expand, explore. I can't remember what the other two X's stand for, but it's basically Civilization, and the idea is you are. Was there a tech to save over here? Did we get credit? I wasn't watching. Too busy talking. You start with a single town or a single territory or whatever, and you grow. And 4X games are usually turn-based. Expand, explore, exploit, and something having to do with combat. I don't know what the fourth E. It's EX, right? But they're called 4X. Anyway, these are games that I tend to like. I particularly like turn-based games because you have as long as you want to think about the strategy, and you're not doing with the real-time, games. A lot of times you've got to think really fast. You can pause them depending on the game, but there's a lot of quick thinking involved in the middle of like a battle or something. Whereas in a turn-based game, you can calmly decide what you want to do. So I tend to like them an awful lot, but I've never played a 4X game with my friend. I just, play them by myself. And that's what Quill was doing. He was just playing solo, right, and showing the game. And it looked really cool. And I saw that it was available on Steam. And I like Civilization, but a lot of people, including Quill, were saying they feel like this is better than the current Civ game, which I don't have. And so, and there are some little quirks that I've sometimes. Oh, there's a swarm. There are some little quirks that I've sometimes not liked about Civilization games. So, and this game looked like maybe it doesn't have those quirks. So I said, hey, I'll put it on my wish list, and when it comes out, I'll play it. So it's out today. And so I went over to Steam just to look at the price and stuff. And its price isn't bad. Typical, like $40 American. And I was shocked to see when I looked on my wish list, because it shows this to you, where most of the other games on my wish list, excuse me, are either not out yet or are have good reviews. This one has not even mixed, but mostly negative reviews. Right? That means the overwhelming majority of the reviews are negative. And I thought, why? I've watched Quill's actually doing a Let's Play now with a live chat, or he was doing it yesterday, where he said, let's start. It's the day before launch, and he's got the early access version or whatever, and he said, some things may change a little bit during launch, and it may make the game unplayable if they make too many changes, but we'll try and see. And he went and picked a random country, ended up with the U.S., and started in New York, which is just the name of the town, and it's 10,000 BC. And yeah, I watched his whole first chapter of his playthrough. This looks like a great game. It doesn't look buggy at all. It seems really nice. The graphics look really good. The control system is quite excellent. It's got some really nice features, like you can set a reminder to tell it, to alert you when, say, you're able to, when you have enough resources to build troops or something like that. I thought this is really nice, so that you don't. And he even made the comment, well, it's sort of we don't really need this feature because I never forget anything, and he sort of chuckled. I mean, I'm sure he forgets things all the time, because especially if you're doing a Let's Play, that's what happens, right? And so it looked really, really cool. And I'm like, why is this mostly negative? So I looked at the reviews. What it seems like is that the overwhelming majority of negative reviews are from people who want to play multiplayer, and the multiplayer isn't working or is not fully featured. They're not generally arguing that the game is buggy. They're not generally arguing that the game is incomplete. They're not generally arguing that the graphics are bad or anything like that. What they're saying is, in order to play multiplayer, you have to basically open a port and play it like a LAN game. And I can definitely see the lack of attractiveness of that. But that only matters if you want to play multiplayer. If you don't want to play multiplayer, I don't care how multiplayer works, right? I'm perfectly happy to play the game solo. In fact, that's the only way I intended to play it. So, I personally feel like this is kind of overdoing it, and I think this is actually an issue with Steam. I feel like Steam has too coarse of a review system. I've faced this myself writing reviews. There are a lot of games that I would like to give a neutral to. Right? I'm not necessarily going to give it a negative review, but I can't endorse it. Right? And I don't know why I hit that heel. One of the things I think we probably are going to want to do is add an extra accuracy in here if we're going to be running +2s and then fighting +3s, because you saw what happened with how much missing. Now that was the bedrocks, because they have defense and it lowers your ability to hit them. and it won't happen with other things like fungoids, but yeah, the misstreaks are annoying, so we may want to carry an extra accuracy inspiration. Are these guys all any lieutenants here? It doesn't look like it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts? If the game... So their argument is the game advertises multiplayer, and the only way you can do multiplayer is to open a port and run it like a LAN party, and you can't, like, they don't have servers, so you can't do a normal online game experience. That's the reason they gave it a negative review, and I feel like that's a reason to give it a neutral review. But I don't feel like that's a reason to give it an entirely thumbs down review just because of that. What do you guys think? I mean, I guess I can understand if the main reason, you know, if my best friend and I alerted him to this game because I know he likes Civ, and I said, hey, have you heard of this game? And he said no, and I said, well, here, check out this video. This was like a week and a half ago when I saw the one where Quill was playing the early access version. And he said, I'll check it out. I don't know if he has, right, because he may have been busy. But imagine if I had said to him, this is cool, and he'd said, this is cool. And both of us had said, well, we're not interested in playing by ourselves, but we want to play together co-op or play against each other or something. Yeah, I guess that would be very frustrating if it didn't work that way. To me, a fully negative review would mean the game doesn't work at all, or is completely buggy or something like that. I'm not sure that, unless it's an MMO, I would say the multiplayer features don't work is the reason to give it a completely negative review. But the problem is on Steam, again, you can't give it a partially positive or whatever. You know what I mean? You can't, like, it might be better if they had a star rating. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stars is excellent. 3 stars is okay, is good. 2 stars is okay. 1 star is poor, and 0 stars is don't buy this game, or something like that. I hear a glowy. My guess is there may be potential issues with that, doing stars, because you know, maybe people don't. Maybe the reviews are even more problematic than the thumbs up and thumbs down. I don't really know. And we're in the courts here, so that's why he's hitting us so much. But I think we're okay. But yeah, I'm actually still playing to get the game because I don't care. Right, and one of the things that I find frustrating about it is the people who are complaining about the multiplayer not working don't generally make comments about the game. One reviewer did say, look, the game works, but I'm giving it a negative review because they advertise PvP and stuff, and they don't have it, right? And that's a missing feature. And I can understand maybe doing that. Most of the other reviews are just, multiplayer doesn't work, this game sucks, don't buy it. And I just feel like that is maybe over the top. I don't know. What do you guys think? So anyway, that's gaming news. To me, that's not really political. We're just talking about how reviews work. And so what do you guys think? Do you think that it's reasonable to give that negative review for a game that can be played in 2 different modes, and one of the modes is not maybe working ideally? I don't know. This is the first time I'm seriously, very strongly, almost certainly, considering and almost certainly going to buy a game that has such negative reviews. Such a number of negative reviews. Now, so far it only had, when I looked, about 60 reviews, and a lot of them were negative, but that's not a lot of reviews, right? It's a lot when you get to like 1,000. And a lot of the people giving negative reviews had like 0.5 hours in the game, 0.9 hours in the game. I mean, it's not like you know a lot about the game when you're only doing that much. And one of the people who had only below an hour in the game said, oh, this is not nowhere near as deep as Civilization or whatever. Like, how can you tell that when you're only, 90 minutes into the first playthrough? Because Quill was saying there are a lot more and more and more stuff has to be considered as you get through the ages, right? Quote unquote, as you level up. And so, yeah, they obviously made it simple in the first few ages because you're just learning the game. But then once you know the game and your society is developed and stuff, you have a lot more to think about. So one of the things I actually liked about the game is it doesn't seem like there's Like, it seems like there's a production time to construct stuff, but then once you get to that production time, you just put it down and it's there. There's no like worker animation to build it. It doesn't take extra turns to build it and that sort of thing. And so I actually kind of like that. Okay, we missed something. So yeah, this is something that happens a lot. I don't know if you want to call that review bombing, right? This is very common, and in fact, there have been cases where Steam has disabled or altered the algorithm for the reviews to try and counteract review bombing, right? Where everybody's just going in and giving it a negative review because they're mad at the company, even if the game itself is okay. Now, I don't know if people are mad at the company or not, but wouldn't it be ironic here, guys, if after auto-completing, I can't find this last guy and now I can't auto-complete? Just because I didn't want to do Cray. I feel like the first thing I got to, the first set of enemies, were two guys who were in this little section here and were guarding somebody, but I didn't see anybody actually get freed. Back corner here? No. And we didn't have anybody up here. There. Okay. How did they not aggro to me? Didn't I even throw a taunt back here for the guys on the other side? I mean, they were literally like right there. How did they not aggro? Weird. And that is the mission. And I just realized I might have to stop for a minute. You guys won't notice much transition, but I might have to stop for a minute because I've got some bread baking downstairs in the bread machine. And I'm definitely smelling bread, so I think I'm pretty close to having to go take it out. Alright, so the Terra conspiracy, the residue we discovered from the Devouring Earth attack on Paragon Technical Institute indicates they're working on something. Take the residue over to Dr. Sheridan, Steve Sheridan. That was the name of a real-life friend of mine. The guy who made me start writing because he was writing. And speaking of writing, I don't know if anybody's interested, but I've actually completed my first handwritten, it's about 40 handwritten pages, short story, which I am now slowly typing into my computer. It's a short story. It's 7, I call them chapters. I don't know. They're each only a couple pages long, but Robert E. Howard used to sometimes make chapters, and so did H.P. Lovecraft within longer short stories that were more than a few pages. And so I decided to go ahead and do that. And so I got the first chapter typed in yesterday. Hopefully I'll get, if I can do one a day in a week, it'll be typed in. I'm not doing much revising as I type it in. I'm just getting it typed in, and then I'm going to have to go over the process of revising. And there are a number of places in the handwritten part, and I added them to the typed part too, where I just have WC in parentheses, which means word choice. I want to word it differently, but I can't think how now, and I'm not worrying about that now. I'm just going to keep writing or transcribing. Or in parentheses it says ugh, awful. I know this is terribly written, but I just want to put this here so that I can move on to the next part of the scene. I don't want to obsess over how to describe the doorway right now. We need to get the character through the door and attacking the enemies, right? And I'll worry about the exact right way to phrase the description of the doorway later. So that'll be the revision process after I finish transcribing. So we're going to get over to Fauna First Company and make some arrests. So these are like environmental activists who are now, they thought they were helping nature, and now animated science fiction nature is attacking them. So they're going to Founders Falls. And it's interesting. I was watching. I don't know how this ended up in my feed because I honestly don't care about subscribers. I think I may have watched someone's video who was talking about YouTube itself at some point, and so popping up into my feed was something about how much money do you actually make on YouTube when you finally get to 1,000 subscribers, which I'm nowhere near, and I'm probably never going to get to, so I don't really care. But I was like, okay, out of curiosity. It turns out it's highly variable, and it's hard to predict how much you would make, but it's not a lot. And so I watched this one guy, and what he had done was he had gone back, and I guess a bunch of YouTubers have made videos when they hit 1,000. Within a few months of hitting 1,000, they've made videos of here's what I've learned after hitting 1,000 videos, and here's the money I've made or haven't made. And so he that was posting each of the clips of each of their videos and just talking about it, because he has like a million. This particular guy has like 1 million subscribers, and he was talking about what happens and how this affects your activities on YouTube and all of this stuff. And he was just showing the story, using the the individual people whose videos he was showing. He was kind of doing them as almost like a case study, and I thought that was really interesting. And it's just so funny, the considerations that people make, right? Oh, you got to have this thumbnail to get more people watching and everything. And I mean, as you guys know, I just make one thumbnail for the season and I just re-upload it because I'm not going to be bothered making a separate thumbnail for every single video. Like, I don't have time for that. And one of the things that several of them said was, okay, if you want to be really serious about this, you're going to need to have a staff, right? You're going to need somebody to make thumbnails for you and somebody to edit the video, and you make the videos, and then somebody does the editing and uploading it to YouTube and everything. So you have to be like a team, and then you're going to have to split the money and everything. And I was like, I don't want to do this as a business. This is a hobby, right? I'm just doing it for fun. And I find it more interesting to talk to an imagined audience that may or may not be there than to just silently play the game. Right after doing so much chit-chatting with all of you and getting comments and stuff and responding to them, I prefer to actually play it and talk, and doing it silently kind of is boring, Okay, I over-aggroed here. We should be alright. Fortunately, no lieutenants in this bunch. Those are the guys who pull out the swarms. If we had several of those, even hasten probably would not help enough. Oh, these stupid rebels. I do like that we have 2 AoEs, and consequently we can easily take out the little mini guys, the little mini-me's. Okay, so that one saved. The activist. Maybe you better be careful, sweetheart, who you ally with. Because the Devouring Earth don't particularly care for you as a living being, and they're willing to kill. Oh, this guy. He's going to put a cairn down, probably. If we can stun him, no. It's almost impossible to stun him fast enough. I taunt him to make sure he follows me, because I want to get him out of there. Out of the cairn. He's really slow for some reason. I noticed that. I don't know if I ever really clocked it before, but the sentries are really slow. And that makes it a little frustrating. Right, because then you gotta wait for them. Like, Okay, I don't care about the cairn. Pop hasten. Because you kind of can't stop the swarms from hitting you a little bit. So I hear somebody. They seem to be down here. Yep, here they are. Oh boy. Wow, these guys are all +2. Alright, here we go. AoE. AoE. Those AoEs are so useful in doing a lot of damage. Look at this. Look how much damage we laid down and how we went up against, what was it, 5 +2s and just had no real problem other than hitting. So this guy's going to be a pain. But we got him. There we go. Oh boy, a +3 sentry. He's going to be a pain in the neck to take out. Come with me. Come with me. Get out of the cairn. And we want to try and disorient this guy if we possibly can. I'm going to stay in the cairn now and just finish him off. He should be easy to take out. Then we'll run the other guy out of here. And out of all these stupid little... Oh man, I have to say, the Devouring Earth are a very annoying faction. Because of all the stupid little... You've got the dumb little mini-me's that pop out of almost everybody. You've got the cairns, you've got the quartz, you've got these stupid things. Almost every mob type puts some little generator down here. I really hate those. I think the main thing I don't like about them, and I've talked about this before, so I won't belabor it too much, is knowing that they put one down, you could employ some tactics to try and trigger it to put one down and pull it out of the field so that you fight it without the bonus. But what I don't like is they have a recharge that's so fast on it that literally the second it gets out of the cairn field, it'll just make another cairn, right? Or another fungi or whatever. And the problem with that is, and that utterly precludes your ability to do any tactics whatsoever, right? And it should be the case that if you do something clever, like I got that guy, he was disoriented, I should have been able to stop him from summoning swarms, and he still summoned it, even though I knew to take him out first and to pound him with disorients until I got him out. It still didn't stop the swarm. It still didn't stop the swarm, and now I'm going to have to... I keep accidentally targeting the fungi. And this, so, I don't know, I feel like that... I don't know, those things are kind of annoying, right? All of those little things, and one of them wouldn't be bad, but when the faction has more, like every single spawn, you have to deal with this. Because there are so many different ones that do it. And I would like to punch in the face whatever Homecoming developer, because I'm pretty sure it's specific to Homecoming, decided to have every single lieutenant in the Devouring Earth and boss drop swarms. They're probably the most annoying summon in the game. Why would you think that the players would want you to do them more? I don't understand that. I'd love to have a little conversation with whoever made that decision. I still don't understand why the Devouring Earth sound like werewolves. Oh, this guy. There's a quartz. I'll just pull out of it. So this is the frustrating thing, right? That you got to constantly run out of the radius of these stupid things. Every single spawn has a guy that can summon it. One can summon one. There are all these different ones. They're annoying, right? They don't actually threaten you for the most part if you know how they work. Yes, when I first started playing the game, when I first came upon these sardonyxes or whatever they are that drop the quartzes, yes, it is true. I did die repeatedly to them until I figured out what the quartz was doing, right? Or somebody explained it to me. Because I was playing a reflex scrapper, all I had was defense, no resistance, and they would just absolutely crush me, right? I would just, the hit point bar would just go, and you're dead. And I'm like, what the heck happened? I had no idea. I don't even know, because you're fighting like large spawns. I don't even know if I clocked that the thing had been put down a couple of times. And finally, somewhere along the way, I realized what the quartz was doing. Same thing with the cairn. I didn't realize it was doing all this, like giving all this resistance to the Devouring Earth. And so I'm fighting and fighting and fighting, and like I get killed because I'm not doing enough damage fast enough. But once you figure out what it's doing, it's no threat to you. It's just an annoyance that you have to keep backing out of it, pulling them out of it, right? And I don't know. I wouldn't mind so much with the Devouring Earth if it was more like some of the other mobs, like in the Malta you have the sappers. They're not in every spawn. And if the spawn doesn't have a sapper, you're not going to have to face that annoyance, right? But with these guys, every single one of the types of minions has a lieutenant that does annoying things. Either they drop swarms, or they drop quartzes, or they drop cairns. And so if there's a lieutenant in the spawn, it's going to be really annoying. And so, yeah, I could have... If I could talk to the devs, I would have said, yeah, you need to vary this a little bit and not make all of them annoying. And I definitely would like to say to the Homecoming guys, undo this stupid swarm thing, because that is super frustrating. And is it ridiculous that I had to take an entire power to counteract that kind of thing? Now, I mean, I was going to take hasten anyway, probably, because I didn't have anything else to take at level 35. But it became a no-brainer when I realized that I can counteract slow, and I'm going to be hit with slow a lot in the 30s. And I probably will be hit with slow a lot in the 40s too, although I don't remember. Did the Devouring Earth go up past level 40? I think they do, right? Because there's Eden. No, and Eden has a bunch of Devouring Earth, and they must be over level 40, because that's a very high level zone. So, again, I missed an activist somewhere. Too much talking. But I feel like I went everywhere, didn't I, guys? I mean, I didn't miss anything up here, did I? I went all over the place. I even went in, we found them in one room, right? And I even went into the other room just in case. We've been in here, no? And again, with our defense shield on, right? One of these generates a bunch of aggro. I think it's this one. Or, no, this one. Rise to the challenge. One of them automatically taunts even gray to cons. So, you would think, having been all the way around all of this place, that I would have triggered aggro. By the way, one of the other things I hate about these stupid things is they're infinite. If I stayed in this mission for 9 hours, they would continue putting out their stupid fields. And that shouldn't be either. Over here? No. I've been everywhere in here, right? Oh, I see what we missed. Yep. Let's taunt these guys over. Come on. Alright, so build up. Miss streaks. I'm not going to fight rebels explicitly. I'm just going to do AoEs against them. So we've managed to take out, we've managed to save all of the environmental activists. Now we just have to take out the last of the Devouring Earth. I don't know if the rebel count, but we've got them all. These are minions, right? Alright, I can definitely smell my bread. It must almost be done. I'm making French bread. I've not done that before in this bread machine. I've done Italian bread, Italian Parmesan bread, which is really good, and white bread and white wheat. But this is my first time trying French bread, which is super simple. It's actually the simplest of the recipes, so I don't know why I haven't tried it before. I did make one mistake. You're supposed to put it on the dark crust, and I accidentally started it on the medium crust. And once I started it, even like 1 minute in, it wouldn't let me change it. I don't know why. Because it doesn't start baking for hours, right? It does, like, it lets it rise and it mixes it around and everything. So I should have been able to change it while it was doing that, but it didn't let me. The Devouring Earth drops science, since we have 3 science SOs in here that we'll be able to turn in for some cash. But I think we're going to stop here, guys. I think this is a good stopping point. Let's call our contact. And she says, it's not unusual for the Devouring Earth to turn against the humans they've allied with, but this one is strange. Yep. Well, we will continue this story in another episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Heroes.